So, Fortnite's a pretty fun game. You can pretty much do whatever you want. From jumping out of cars to headshotting wandering Keanu Reeves.
You're breathtaking.
Fuck you say to me, you little shit!
To making your best Bob the Builder impression. Fortnite is still a pretty popular game after its... Holy shit, how old am I? Jesus Christ. I've only been playing for half a year. And for that reason, I've only been able to play one full season till its end. That being Season 6, Primal. To say I was excited is an understatement. I waited till 4 in the morning just to see what they've added after Seasons 5's, desert whatever. So, I'm here to bring you all a recap of what this season brought to the table. Back and relax, cause this is Fortnite Season 6. Also, if you're not subscribed, subscribe right now. Subscribe!
If I don't stop this, it could destroy all existence.
Jonesy found a robot dude to close an asshole. That's it. Now this is the juicy part. Since the 0 point altered reality to a certain extent, it changed the map to a pretty interesting location. No longer a massive desert that covered the middle of the map and just became annoying after the season continued. Now, a fall-like jungle that's surrounded by spires in a hexagonal formation, and at its center, a massive town in which the 0 point is being contained at. Now this change honestly gave the map a pretty new sense of life. All they had to do was paint it orange. And in those spire towers, in the top, there's a little jumping platform where you can glide away and just move around, go ahead, go around. All these changes truly gave this season an identity, something I believe Season 5 truly lacked. Although its main centerpiece, the 0 point, having zip lines is cool, but honestly, they didn't help that much at all. And also, if you weren't cashing out your materials towards the NPCs, it wasn't really worth your time. But on that note... It's Primal, baby. So they have to conjure up the most meanest, deadliest, and ferocious creatures they can imagine. Raptors, Spire Guardians, wolves, pigs, the most threatening of creatures. These NPCs truly gave life to the world they inhabited. Also, their drops were pretty good. Spire Guardians when defeated would drop a rare weapon and also a black ball. What did you do with that? Well, you picked it up, it pointed it to the center of the map, and you jumped really, really floaty. That's it. It wasn't really worth your time after the season continued, especially after a certain weapon. We're gonna talk about it later. Now, raptors and wolves. Oh! I say, those bastards were fucking dead when I saw them. As the deadly predator from the season, they had to constantly annoy you and always harass you and never leave you alone, even though you were doing nothing to harass them. If one spotted you, they would alert their entire crew and be like, yo, what up? You wanna die? No? Okay.
Oh my god!
And it also didn't help that every time you killed one, it alerted every player around you that you were killing something. But it wasn't necessary evil. It wouldn't be Primal without assholes around. The core of it. When defeated, they would drop bones and food. Food healed you, and the bones were used as to the new mechanic introduced this season, crafting. Wait, wrong game. That's right. Find any scraps laying around, amalgamate them together, and create epic weapons to make you get that victory royale. But in all honesty, crafting was an amazing mechanic introduced this season. It gave me a reason to keep weapons that I would usually throw away for the idea of improving it later on in the match. The way you would improve it is by farming animals or mechanical vehicles. Getting bones and mechanical parts. Giving you an option between a more sophisticated weapon or a more primal one. I cannot emphasize how fun it was just to go around and explore and experiment with so many weapons when I had the option to just make them better in the long term. So, to make sure you don't make horrible decisions, let's go through a list of them to see which one will guarantee your survivability from worst to best. Let's go.
Guys, we missed the truck! We're not aiming!
You're gonna die. Just hand over the gun to your opponent. They'll understand that you're not worth killing and will leave you to the wolves to eat. I swear, when people were done looting Lazy Lake, all you saw was an ocean of pistols because nobody wants to use them. Only pick it if you want to die. That's it. Now this is what I'm talking about. The rifle this season had a lot of use for mid-range to long-range fights. Since they pack more of a punch than SMGs, it felt kinda one-sided fighting somebody that didn't have one. You can just see their hopes go away after the first 3 crits in their heads. Pretty great weapons if you didn't want to depend on shotguns to deal damage. Fast, resourceful, and spammy, this weapon mostly worked when you caught someone off guard. So basically, if you hit it first, you win. But if you don't... It is pretty finicky to aim, but that seems like a pretty nice balance since it can make mincemeat out of shielded opponents. 6 out of 10. This is where we separate the fish sticks from the men. Holy shit, did shotgun get their dick sucked this season. The makeshift shotgun truly gave emphasis to the crafting mechanics because of the options were great. I don't even know where to begin. Okay. So, the pop shotgun at the beginning felt rather short and cumbersome in fights, and sure, it had high damage, but still, you were just kind of left with the idea that you could have been doing better. But as the season progressed, they kind of kept making it slightly better to use, quicker to shoot, and just fun. So, great gun. But there was a shotgun that was truly feared from the get-go. The Primal Shotgun. Yeah, boy. This piece of a weapon was basically the equivalent of a gorilla going to your room and calling you a poopy head. It wasn't fucking around. You were basically dead if the person was aiming at you, okay? And its fast firing speed meant that if your opponent missed the first shot, he wasn't gonna miss the second one. Especially since he didn't have to aim. But all in all, Epic just kept tweaking them until, we got a pretty nice balanced shotgun. No longer in its glory days, but still a great weapon. Potato out of 10. If shotguns were the gorillas of this season, bows were the tiger. I'm not kidding when I say bows were the best weapon this season. Boasting the biggest offering to craft, you had up to 6 upgrades, and not only that, it just made it better. Its base form was great for long-range fights, quick and easier to use than the sniper rifle. And you got head crits, so honestly, great weapon. But we all know it can go even further beyond. You can either craft a primal bow or a mechanical bow. And let me tell you, both of these were great weapons to begin with. The Primal Bow, even though having the same firing speed as the base form, had amazing damage. You can leave an opponent seriously damaged if you aim them just at their body. But the Mechanical Bow, ooh boy! Its faster firing speed meant that its accuracy went up with it. And not only that, you could headshot people. Yeah, basically insta-death. You could truly not understand the amount of times that I just shot an arrow for quick reflexes, and just because the opponent's head was just poking slightly off the wall, I headshotted them. And honestly, it felt amazing. So yeah, these bows were great, but what if I told you? It can go even further beyond. Okay. So now you can pretty much invest in the mechanical bow or the primal bow. I'm gonna go through worst to best, but let me tell you, all of these are great options. They're just upgrades. Let's begin. The boom bow, or as I like to call it, the bomb arrows. It's basically the mechanical bow, but with a little hit at the end. It does severe damage to your opponent, but with a massive caveat. You gotta pray to RNGesus that your bombs don't miss because of the physics engine. You may have shot your opponent straight blank, but if those bombs are rolling down the hill, you basically just shot him once. Honestly, if you're not fighting an opponent on a plane, I say skip. But you know what? When it works, it works. It does the job. Now the stink bow, or as I like to call it, the stinky. It's a bow that grants area denial with their stinky farts and not allowing people to hide behind walls. The opponent's health is gonna be the one taking damage and not its shield. So basically, it punishes people for turtling inside their little houses. Fuck you, Bob! But keep a close eye because once you lose them, you're basically shooting arrows just guessing where they are. So when not used properly, it can get out of hand and can punish you. And on that note, the flame bow is the sticky arrow but better. You're not limited to just one spot. You can basically shoot these whenever you want and it will engulf it in flames. Basically a heavy counter to master builders. It does provide area denial, but since you don't have full control where these fires are gonna spread, they can come back and harm you instead. So basically use with caution, especially around friends. Toast out of 10. Okay, so this bow. Oh boy. The Shockwave Bow. This weapon basically makes Fortnite its bitch, with the huge amount of practicality it has. The bow when shot creates a little explosion that can push anything around it away. Seems basic in paper, right? Well, if you're a TF2 player, you know where this is going. Rocket jumping! You can now fly around the map whenever you want, basically robbing the importance of the boots that allow you to fly. This bow nullifies the fear of the storm, because every time it gets closer, you just fly away. Fuck you, storm. Fuck you! Or in fact, stay in it. Pick up as much shit as you want and then just leave. Because you always have transportation in your hands, you're never in fear of ever missing out. And that's not all. You don't even take fall damage. You'll never have to worry about falling to your own death. And that's not all. You can also break through buildings. So basically, master builders are fucked. And that's not all. You can also pick and choose your fights. So whenever you feel like you're not ready for it, just hop out of it. Fuck you. And that's not all. You can also deny area by pushing away enemies so you can grant more space. Or you can close the gap so you can fuck them up with a shotgun. And on that, once you reach top 5, you're pushing your enemies off to the storm. So they'll die by that too. And also, you can headshot. This weapon was the god to the mere man. And if you mastered it, you basically were god. The bows were just a great addition towards the season and a great weapon to use. And when combined with other weapons, you basically always have options to deal with your opponents at all times. Amazing weapon, 10 out of 10.
No fucking way!
They all sucked except Lara Croft. This season as a whole was great. We got a pretty big change towards the map and its weapons, and also a new mechanic to interact with the world around it. All that needs to be said though is that I hope the next season brings as much exciting stuff to play around with. We only have a fuck ton of maps to see. So this is Jadux108 here, farewell and happy trading.